Shrift Tactical, not as enthusiastic today. The rain, Mother Nature, the water from the cloud things, snow, kind of ruined our outlook for today. However, we're going to kit up, as you can see.
Yeah.
Kitted up,
Kitted.
past tense. We're going to do a little bushwhacking. We're going to kind of wander through our forest here and, just get acclimated to our gear here, which, as you can see, we're super comfortable. We're warm. We're lighter than ever.
I'm actually none of those things.
It's cold outside. Did I mention that?
All jokes aside, it's one thing to flat range it and do all that work, and there's value there. It's another thing to just throw some of your crap on and go out when it's unpleasant and either shoot, run drills, or like we're gonna do, go bushwhack through the forest
and LARP
and straight up LARP.
Straight up LARP.
Yeah.
And again, as you well know about us, we neither of us served. We're just two red-blooded Americans that we love guns and the Constitution.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
So, yeah. Anyways, stay tuned. We'll pop in and out as we do our hike through our rainy, snowy forest. And
these ain't no high-dollar plates neither. They're heavy, but so we'll catch our breath before we check in with you guys as we cruise around. But
you want to hear us huffing and puffing.
All
right. So we're out hiking. We're not very far from the truck here, where we started. Jared brought up a really good point, and kind of what we're pointing out here is, if you do plan on getting yourself kitted up and geared like this, because you feel it's your constitutional right and it's something you want to do, get out and do it. And first reason is, Jared, what's going on with you, bud? You've already pointed out a couple flaws in your setup a little bit and things that are bothering you, right?
First thing I kind of noticed, 50 paces from the truck. I don't actually know how far a pace is, but 50 feet. I got the gun on one side with my belt here, pushing into a side plate, and then the mags on the other side pushing into a side plate. And that's something that if you were going to go a fair amount of distance, that'd become a real problem. So it's something that I'm going to deal with for now, but when I get back, I'm going to have to readjust where this goes and maybe the height of the plate carrier.
Yeah, good point out. And again, we've made it. There's the vehicle, not very far, more than 50 paces probably. But I'm not gonna lie. As true as always, I don't actually technically know what a pace is.
Yeah,
I assume somewhere in the 2 to 3 foot range, but but we're gonna keep on hiking through our stuff here and just kind of get acclimated to this extra weight, and it'll give us signs of what we need to change. What things are going to be uncomfortable, what things are maybe more comfortable, what body postures you want to make sure to maintain. And again, we're just two shrivs in the woods at this point. So yeah, stay tuned. All right. Another thing to think about, taking a whiz. That was a lot more work. Now, granted, it's raining outside. We're all wet. But kitted up.
It's cold.
Yeah, things shrink a little bit.
Causes some factors.
I was in the pool! Literally. So no, things to think about. I mean, just doing the simple task of urinating out in the kitted up. That was a lot more work than I'm used to. So another thought.
As we're doing this, I admit when I put like a sling on my rifle, I would do it in the summertime in my garage, wearing like shorts and a t-shirt. Like, I'm gonna get my sling just right. The sling ain't big enough, at least in its, I had to extend it out to make it work. If you're going to run kit, if you're going to run chest rigs or plate carriers or anything else, and you should put that on when you're going to set your sling up, because it's just another factor that you don't really think about until you're out messing around with it. So on a side note, we can smell something that smells like either a dead animal or something a little too close to us, and we're going to go check that out. So I don't know if this never makes it to the internet, it's because we're dead. But anyways.
Again, it's an interesting thing to do when, if this is something you choose that you want to decide, you want to be prepared for, so to speak. I mean, obviously, plenty of people will call you crazy, but, F them. That's the way I look at it.
Same people that'll be begging you for help.
That's true. Slightly prepared, you will be miles ahead.
That was a large...
that was a pretty large rock that just moved there I stepped on.
Maybe we need to go on a Jenny Crank diet.
Yeah, no kidding. However, where I'm getting at is there are multiple things I'm finding that I am not overly in love with, throughout this process. But what I'm finding is just bushwhacking through this stuff, kitted up as we are right now, LARPing. Finding a lot of things that I'm kind of like going, what the heck? This is annoying. Now, some of these things are probably just things you got to get used to. But one thing I'm noticing right now is the suppressor I have on the end of my firearm. The length of it, the tip of it's catching all kinds of debris and brush. So that's something that can be remedied with money. Obviously, they make different sizes. You can look at Jared's setup here. He's got the chode on his, just a little fat guy. And overall, as far as decibel control, it pretty much does the same thing. Our meager human ears, we can't hear the difference between them. But so again, more things to think about. And if this is something you enjoy doing or you plan on doing, just get out and do it. And I'll tell you, Jared and I, we've been prepared as far as owning equipment for a very long time. This is the first time we've strapped up and we've bushwhacked through our. So both of us are actually kind of experiencing this for the first time. Giving us the civilian life we live. Getting to play the LARP here, but it's eye opening. So you're putting a lot of weight on you, and you're going to find a lot of things that are different from just walking through the brush versus loaded down, kitted up. So yeah,
my shoulders hurt.
His shoulders hurt.
Special note on the length of his suppressor on the weapon. Just a reminder, that's a 10.5 upper with I forgot what that banish is, 9 inches, 8 inches, something like that. So you're at 10.5 with an 8 or 9 inch suppressor, and he's bumping into all sorts of stuff. So if you run a 14.5 pinned and welded, and you're going to put a suppressor on there, you're going to be even longer. Or obviously, if you're running a 16 with a suppressor, even longer. So just keep it in mind, when you're going to go buy something.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't.
Let's touch tips real quick. I mean,
all right, that's a game I like out in the wilderness.
Yeah, I know. I've gone camping with you before.
Yeah.
Give you an idea right there. You can kind of see, without the tape measures. I mean, we're out in the rain and the nasty, but that's that's something I'm thinking about, and maybe I plan and budget for that in the future. And the cool part of it with all these suppressors is the ATF is turning around approvals like crazy. So we're descending into a Z Canyon right now. Nothing too crazy. Definitely a little steep. A lot of loose rocks, a lot of loose shale.
One of the conversations we were just having, we're going downhill, I can actually breathe. Slings. I watched videos years ago on some different sling comparisons, and I bought the Faro Concepts. God, I'm not even sure what it's. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So it's Faro Concept. I've had it for quite some time. Eli's running the Magpul Gen 4. It's the
Magpul.
Yeah. Relatively comfortable. This one's slightly padded, but I did notice that as it rides up the plate carrier onto the back of your neck, there's just this pressure point where most of the weight of your rifle's going to. So I've been trying to find different maybe lengths to get it a little bit more wrapped around my body, my kit. like that sits really nicely, and then as I start moving, it's probably going to move around. So just one more point of I'll say irritation, one more point of rub, one more point of suck, I guess. Yep. Just all things to consider when you're getting out and rucking around.
You know, and yeah, and as obviously all the brethren in the armed forces, embrace the suck, I believe, is a very common statement, which, you know, other than basic life, we don't know about that. But something to definitely keep in mind. Again, in getting out and doing this, you may be able to remedy some of the concerns that you're finding that uncomfortable, or you know, this doesn't fit right, or this doesn't work right, or this shifts that way. So again, I encourage, get out and do this. You know, and if you live in an area where you're fortunate enough, like we do, we can, you know, short period of time, we can get out in the middle of nowhere. We don't even have to worry about people making fun of us. We have to film it and put it on the internet to have people make fun of us. So there's that. Yeah. As I almost just ate. That was perfect timing. So one other little thing I want to note is we're out kind of bushwhacking in the rain here, and it's just a steady drizzle, as we've stated. But it's a little nice soaker. I mean, everything's getting nice and wet. Jared's got basic clothes on, sweater, you know, t-shirt under that, blue jeans, and some boots. He's running some Viktos Johnny Combats, I believe.
Not the waterproofs.
Yeah, and another thing, just comment, I mean, obviously, depending on when you're going to hike, and we didn't plan this today, to be honest with you. This was kind of a, you know, we knew it was supposed to be a little stormy. We don't trust the weathermen here because they're always wrong. But I mean, I've got the waterproof range trainers from Viktos, which one thing I've been fairly impressed about from Viktos is the shoes actually seem to hold up a little bit. I mean, I can't say I've had any blowouts or anything with them, and I own a couple pairs, and we get out and kick dirt pretty good and bush with these things. So my feet are happy. They're a little damp. They're a little cold, I guess. Damp, maybe not. But they're staying a lot warmer than Jared's. I know that to be a fact because, you know, those what he's got on are breathable. And when you're kicking through wet brush and rain, those phalanges,
right? Yeah, I mean, we came out to do a little recording, shoot some different stuff. And once this kicked in, we kind of scrapped the video idea we had. And we said, let's just go ruck, because it's something we've been talking about doing, like we've said. Didn't anticipate this. Knew it was going to be maybe a little wet. Didn't anticipate this just constant little drizzle.
Constant saturation.
I'll say this. Got smart wool socks on. My feet are warm, moving around, circulation and such, but definitely wet. The Johnny Combat waterproofs would have been a great selection had I known.
A little heavier, a little thicker, that's for sure. But
yeah.
My boy back here, Jared, and I, actually, we got stuck in about 2 feet of snow a few years ago, and we both had those on. And I mean, I've had Sorels and different winter boots, and I was impressed. I was. They, excuse me, we hiked probably about at least 1.5 miles to meet another car, and by golly, my feet were dry and warm. So that's my one little review on them. So still going uphill, and I'm sure the camera's not showing as much headache as we want. All right, another update. Still just wandering in a direction here. We're going to do a loop back to the truck. We're a ways from the truck. Had a conversation about shoes a minute ago, or a while ago. I'll tell you, I mean, I got the waterproofs on, and the range trainers from Viktos, range training waterproofs. My feet got to be wet. So I mean, it just took time. You know, obviously waterproof is not word, you know, water resistant for a matter of time. I know my feet are drier than Jared's, that's for sure.
Those are facts.
Yeah. But
so it's funny, we're sitting here talking about Viktos, and we've talked about doing some reviews on them. I guess this one's in the flesh and in action. We won't get into all their products, but on the shoe side, earlier we referenced walking through the snow. Those were the Viktos winter boots, and those things did fantastic. The Johnny Combat waterproofs is the same boot but wrapped so it's not meshed. It's what I should be wearing right now. I think my feet would be dry. And then the range trainers like Eli's got on. definitely still got some mesh on them and whatnot. Again, I think those are designed for like a flat range in the rain. Feet would probably be dry, but when you're walking through brush, walking through bushes, everything's got moisture on it. You're picking that all up and it's just soaking in. So we'll try not to harp on shoes too much more, but it's one of those conversations you don't really have until you're out freaking using them.
Yeah,
so.
and at this point, I mean, it pretty much just wraps it up. I mean, there's nothing else to say. I mean, my feet are definitely wet. We've probably hiked at least maybe about half a mile. And again, it's raining, and we're walking through wet brush, which obviously is just adding to all of it. But, you know, again, all things to consider if this is a thought process in your brain, whether it's entertainment purposes, whether it's some, you know, a little bit of training for the what if, you know. Anyways, that's where Jared and I are. We just, you know, we enjoy doing this. We enjoy playing around, you know, farting around, shooting guns, and this stuff. We really enjoy it. It's kind of our muse. Am I using that word right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
look at you all edumacated.
Gonna head on up this hill. We're gonna hit this little peak here. It's not too crazy, but you can get up there and we'll chat again. Not quite up that hill we were talking about. We're working our way up, but if you can see this, we probably, yeah, not even 100 feet maybe. And we got snow now. We got snow. Beautiful day. Arizona in the last few weeks has gone from snow to 85 degrees back to snow. That's why they call it Mother Nature. I'm not going to elaborate much more on that comment. You guys make your own mind up. Hiking up here, we've reached a little bit of a wall, but see what it stands here. You know, raining, good stuff, but just over this is our little quote-unquote summit. Little mountain term for you. Yeah, oh yeah, you flat earthers too. So anyways, we're working our way up, and anything on this mountain range we're in is 0 to 100. I mean, again, the camera's not doing it too much justification, but it's, you know, I mean, they're steeper, but again, Arizona, gotta love it. All right, we're back at the hill here. We had to take a little hiatus. Somebody lost their microphone, and we didn't find it. Rip. Mo Nate's has got it now. So
I'll just yell.
He'll just yell.
Then you can hear me.
Yeah, so here we are. We're back up here. Gonna attempt to navigate through this. A lot of mouse crap. Yep. Now that I'm officially nice and wet, try to walk back down here. Yo, bro. All right. Anywho, yeah. So we're gonna keep on pushing up. As you can see, we've reached the top of that little climb. Wasn't too big of a deal. Definitely annoyance though. You know, mainly that rifle was probably the biggest headache I had coming over that. So Jared doesn't get a talk because he lost his microphone. I don't know if I mentioned that already 3 or 4 times. Still raining and cold. I think we're gonna head back down. I don't know if we're gonna try to catch that saddle over there. We're gonna head up a little bit more, Let's see what it looks like. Circling back, see off in the distance, there's our truck.
It's not our truck. We're not a couple.
It's my truck. But yeah, working our way down now. This stuff. See up there. Got J-Rod walking through here. Might give you a little idea. This terrain's pretty steep again. So working our way back to the rig. Trip Tactical here, Eli, Jared. We just got back from our little hike. Camera died. It continued to rain, and we are head to toe drenched. But you know, hopefully we got some good footage that you guys can enjoy and get some ideas. A lot of things I can add. I mean, the last hike out, we came out of a pretty steep ravine, and just having your rifle, the length of the rifle is huge for me as far as just catching on everything. I mean, sticks, twigs, you know, kind of throws you off balance sometimes too if you're on steep enough terrain. So, but yeah, no, but definitely I think worth doing, as we've said multiple times here. You know, you got to get out and get used to it, and then, like I said, you're going to find things. Adjust this here, adjust that there, adjust your strap, things like that. So, got anything to add there, Jared?
Yeah, you know, my knees are screaming. Coming down, obviously, always fun. Totally soaked. The one thing I'll say, and I don't want to come off as like a health guru or anything else, I'm out of shape. I'm still overweight. I've lost 30 pounds in 3 months from just eating better and eating less.
Eating less.
Go figure.
Not just right? Eating. Yeah.
I'll say this. This is just a soapbox moment for me, really quick. If you're watching these videos, you probably follow some of the same people I follow on social media or whatever, and some of them will say things like, you know, go work out, go get fit, or you're dead if anything crap ever hits the fan. And it's not fun to read that stuff when you're out of shape and overweight, because you don't want to do the things that it says that you should do. What we just did wasn't crazy. Mile and a half, maybe tops.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good amount of elevation.
Yep,
but
solid
yeah.
elevation. And you know, it still beat me up. But I think 3-4 months ago, I'd have been sucking some serious wind, and so I'm not in great shape. I don't work out like I should. Blah blah blah. I just think they got a point, man. Like if you read those things, you're like, no, I'll be fine. Go hump up a mountain with a bunch of stuff.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, I mean, you got the plates and the rifle and the belt and stuff. I mean, or just backpacking as well is gonna, you know, give you the experience. It's not comfortable what we just did, and then on top of it, just being completely soaked. So, anyways, we thought we'd do a little video like that. I mean, it completely came out of nowhere. We didn't really have anything planned. So hopefully you guys like it. Like and subscribe. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Shriv out.
Shriv out.